So this June 6th, my second breakfast. The first was, of course, the gross juice. This is the Bavarian Budweiser nutmeg soup, I guess, that I made yesterday, or I guess today, overnight. Anyway, in the slow cooker. And I'm going to have some of this with my, I think it's called Super 16 sprouted grain bread. It's just the heels, so it's not going to be that awesome, but that's what I have left of the loaf, and that's what I'm going to eat. And I get to have a deck that looks like everyone else's right now, because I made beer-based recipes yesterday and overnight. Now, I would like to recommend this if you have nothing to do. It's not great, but it has David Lynch in it, and it's directed or something by his John Carroll Lynch's directorial debut, it says. And I actually enjoyed it. You know, it's not the greatest movie. I'm not going to put it on my best list or anything, but he was perfect, and it sure wasn't bad, you know. So anyway, the rest of the things I'm just returning to the library. I already talked about that one. So good. This book, if you're new to trying vegan recipes, I would have loved this in my 20s, but it's really not, they're not super healthy. So, yummy, yes. And I've copied down a few of the recipes. I will continue to try them. So anyway, but I'm going to return this today because somebody else will appreciate borrowing it from the library. Now, I guess I'll just set this over here. I'm going to have pineapple for dessert. This is not going to work very well. You probably won't see my head. I just have those cushions piled up there. Anyway, just do this quickly so that you have an idea. A handful of pills to take. B100, omega-3, baby aspirin, and vitamin D. It's a little salty as far as I'm concerned, but just don't put as much tamari in. It's still yum. And neither James nor I like nutmeg, so having a nutmeg recipe that is edible for us is a good thing. So there's loads of black pepper in here, and it's fine. Like when I was putting it in, I'm like, this seems like a little bit much, but it's good. I think it'd be better as a side served with some mashed potatoes. Maybe bangers and mash from that recipe, Vegan Comfort Foods. These were my favorite shorts that I used to wear in my late 20s. They're awesome. They're linen, and they have lots of pockets because remember cargo pants were really popular at one time, and they have little buttons on the pockets, so right, like say like that, so I can put whatever in here, and it's safely tucked away with a button. They're a little bit big for me right now because I'm a little bit smaller than I was in my late 20s, but that's okay. Down the hatch. I have to set up the bed on my deck again today. I took it all apart because I'd forgot to cover it with the tarp, and then it poured buckets. So I had to dry everything out. I thought it was okay, but then nah. And so now everything's dry, so now I can set up the bed again, and we can get back, James and I can get back to working on my poetry. Which I think totally sucks, but he says it's workable, so we'll see. He's been wanting to do this with me for years, and I'm really, he's a really great poet, and I don't know why he doesn't show it off. I guess he's busy doing other things, because he says, yeah, I'm great at that, but I'm great at lots of things, and so he's just doing the other things that. And he's not wrong. You know, some people, they have this like delusional, I don't know, self-image, I guess, but he really is awesome. So anyway, so we'll see if he can help me out, because he knows so much about it, and this is something I really want to learn from him. Writing's actually hard for him. It's funny, because I can write, but speaking is really hard for me, and he's fine with that, you know, so it's just funny the way things work out. People are different, I guess. So he's always wanting me to write things for him, you know, like write up he wants me to work on different things with him, like about Egypt and stuff. I don't. It's not my interest. Anyway, but we'll see how I can do with the poetry. It's not that I don't want to help him get the work he feels he needs to get done. It's just, I mean, how can I possibly do a good job if every 5 seconds I'm asking how to spell whatever name or something, and I know nothing about this stuff. I can't possibly put anything good together. I typed up his essays for him, and when he was in university trying to work on I don't know what it was, history, archaeology degree or something like that. But anyway, and it was pretty hopeless for me. It would be very stressful every time because I didn't know the terminology, and it took forever. It was such a waste of my time, honestly. And his, because I mean, while I was doing it, he was having to babysit me. It's just useless. So I'm certainly not the best person to work with him on that sort of stuff. Yeah, I would totally recommend you make this recipe. Just look back at what I was doing. When I showed the slow cooker, I show what I put into it, and just monkey with the ingredients because it's a little bit salty. So, but otherwise, I mean, I was shocked. I was putting so much nutmeg in, and I'm like, God, what's this gonna be like? Yum, totally yum. It was based on a recipe in a vegan cookbook, but it wasn't anything like this one. But I wanted to use the flavors of the spices with the beer for it. Worked out. Oh, another thing. If you use these kind of jars for canning your soup, they're the best. I love them. Because, see how big that, the wide mouth of the, I guess they're wide mouth mason jars, but this one is a ball jar. No, it's still a mason. Ball mason. But anyway, you can stick a spoon in there totally easily. It's awesome. So these are the jars that you want to can your soup in. Because then say you go to work and you have a workplace with a, what do you call it? Doop-de-doo, microwave. You can take your lid off, stick some paper towel on top because you don't hate your janitor. And then yeah, nuke it and eat it. And you're good to go. I mean, this is going to be healthier than a lot of lunches that you would pack to work with you. So, this is a great work lunch. Wide Mouth Mason.